Welcome to Average Joe's Pool. Could these be the greatest pool balls in the history of humanity? Well, we're certainly going to find out as we delve into the world of Aramith's tournament pool ball sets. Let's roll. So Aramith have kindly supplied this set of tournament balls to us for review. So who exactly are Aramith? Well, Aramith is a company that's based in Belgium, and they are the world's leading manufacturer of phenolic resin pool balls. And chances are, if you ever watch a pool match on TV, it will indeed be Aramith balls that are being used, and very often, in fact, the tournament ones as we have here. And it's worth pointing out that when it comes to Aramith pool balls, they're actually all manufactured by Aramith at their own plant in Belgium, which ironically is right next door to their sister company's plant, Simonis, which is the world's largest manufacturer of pool tablecloth. And when it comes to Aramith ball sets, they do produce various different sets to fit different people's budgets. But what we have here, these are the Aramith Tournament series, and these are their top of the line sets. It's worth pointing out that within the Tournament series by Aramith, they do actually produce 3 different versions of this set. So the first set in the series is the standard tournaments, and they come with the traditional pool ball colours, and the cue ball comes with just a single black Aramith logo. And the current pricing on the standard set is $424. And then the next setup is precisely what we have here. This is called the Tournament TV set, and we do have some colour variations in this set, which is designed specifically for televised events. And as we can see, we do have a red spotted cue ball in the Tournament TV set. And current pricing for the Tournament TV set, they are a little bit more expensive, coming in at $466. And then finally in the Tournament series, we have the Aramith Tournament Blacks. And they vary from the traditional balls in so much that they have black poles to the striped balls. And additionally, the cue ball that comes with that set is a black spotted ball complete with a single Aramith logo. And current pricing on the Tournament Black is $485. And we have done a separate review on the Tournament Black set, and we'll have a link to that in the video description below. So if you want to find out a little bit more about that black set, please be sure to check out that link. And it's worth pointing out that Aramith also produce a tournament value pack, and that pack contains the tournament balls in the traditional colours but with the red spotted cue ball, as well as a Jim Rempe training ball, a cleaning cloth and Aramith's ball cleaner, and the pricing on the value pack is currently $485, so definitely worth checking out. And we will be adding Amazon links for all 4 variations of the Aramith tournament ball sets into the video description. So if you like what we do here at Average Joe's Pool and this video has been helpful for you, please help us out in return and be sure to click on our Amazon links. So now we've got a bit more information on the Aramith tournament sets. Let's have a look in a little bit more detail. Let's dive into the Spec Check.
I can call you a skank, can I? Yeah.
So first of all, when it comes to packaging, the tournament ball sets come in these retail boxes which are supplied completely shrink wrapped, complete with Aramith logos on that shrink wrap. When it comes to Aramith's tournament balls, these are genuine phenolic resin, but they also contain something that's exclusive to Aramith, and that is Aramith technology. So breaking that down, first of all, what is phenolic resin? If you're not already familiar with it, then phenolic resin is essentially a super hard type of resin. All pool balls are manufactured from resins, but cheaper balls tend to be manufactured from poly resins, whereas what we have here, this is phenolic resin. And phenolic resin tends to be much harder and also much harder wearing than the poly resin equivalents. In fact, Aramith are so confident in the quality of the phenolic resin that they claim that it can last up to 8 times longer than poly resins. And whilst phenolic resin balls are more expensive than poly resin balls, they will last you significantly longer. In fact, Aramith claim that this set, complete with the Aramith technology, could last up to 40 years in a residential environment. So yes, they are more expensive, but you should perhaps look at them as a longer term investment. Speaking of which, there is also another factor that you might want to keep in mind when you're considering phenolic resin balls. And that's the fact that phenolic resin balls tend to be less hard wearing on your pool table cloth than poly resin balls. And when you're looking at ball sets that could potentially last you for decades, then that could mean that you have to change your cloth less often, which in the long run, again, can help save money. And the other thing that's worth pointing out is that not all phenolic resins are created equal. In fact, even within Aramith's own lineup of balls, we have different types of resin that they use. And the particular phenolic resin that are used in the tournament sets is called Super Aramith Pro resin. And that particular resin is only used in Aramith's Super Aramith Pro ball set or the tournament ball sets as we have here, and they also use it for Predator's Arcos 2 balls and Brunswick Centennials, which are both also made by Aramith. However, when it comes to the Duramith technology that I mentioned before, that is 100% exclusive to Aramith's Tournament Series ball sets. So what exactly is Duramith? Well, first of all, it's very important to point out that Duramith is not a type of resin. As mentioned before, these use the Super Aramith Pro resin. Duramith is not a resin type. Instead, Duramith is a technology that Aramith have developed so that during the forming of the vitrification layer on the ball, there's a difference in the molecular cross-linking, whatever that might actually mean. And it's very important to point out that Aramith have confirmed that the Duramith does not actually affect the performance of the balls. So the performance that you'll find on the tournament sets should be 100% identical to the performance that you'll find on the other sets that also use the Super Aramith Pro resin, as I covered earlier. However, one factor that the Duramith does improve is the longevity of the balls. So we're not talking performance, we're talking longevity. And with regards to the design that we have here on the tournaments, what we have is a circle which is actually split into two sections and the number in the centre. And the font that's been used is quite a modern looking font to go with that kind of overall tournament look and feel. Now the thing that you will notice when it comes to the tournament TV set that we have here is we do have some colour changes compared to the traditional pool ball colours. So you'll find that our 4 ball and our 12 ball, instead of being the traditional purple, are now a much brighter pink. And our number 7 and our 15 balls, which are traditionally a maroon colour, are actually a brown. And the reason for these colour changes is simply to give a higher contrast between the different balls in the sets, because at the end of the day these are designed to be used for televised matches. Now these colour changes might not be to everyone's taste, but that's not a problem. Remember, if you don't like the tournament TV, you can go for the standard tournament sets, which has the 100% traditional colours. And as for the cue ball that comes in this set, this is Aramith's red spotted cue ball. And you'll find that most televised matches now feature these balls that have the spots on them, and that's to help you see the spin that players manage to get on the ball. And that can be really useful, not only whilst you're playing, but also for training as well. And to buy one of these separately is about $45, so it's nice to see that included in this set. So now we know exactly what these balls are, let's move on to our technical tests.
No, all you do is give attitude lately. You watching too much Dynasty, bud?
For our first test, we'll weigh the tournament TV balls individually on a calibrated scale and check that they not only conform to the WPA specifications, but also for consistency across the set. And for the WPA requirements, they require balls to weigh between 5.5 and 6 ounces. And for our tournament TVs, every ball easily hit this specification, with an overall average ball weight of 5.94 ounces. Our heaviest ball was our number 8, which weighed in at 5.978 ounces. And our lightest ball was the cue ball, coming in at 5.921 ounces. This gives us a weight variance across the entire set of just 0.057 ounces, or 0.96%. And taking a quick look at how this compares to other phenolic resin sets in our variance rankings, we can see that the tournament TVs currently hold 4th place, coming in just a touch behind tournament blacks for the sets that we tested. But do remember that results will vary marginally from set to set, and these results only reflect the sets that we have physically tested. And so, as we would expect from Aramith's top line sets, the tournament TVs have excelled in our weight results, scoring them a perfect 5 stars out of 5 for weight. For our second test, we'll be measuring the balls using a calibrated micrometer, and once again checking for consistency and ensuring that we meet the WPA requirements. Speaking of which, the WPA requires balls to measure 2 1/4 inches, which is 57.15 millimeters, with a permitted tolerance as shown here on screen. And this test threw up absolutely zero issues for the tournament TVs, with every ball easily meeting the WPA requirements, and an overall average ball size of 57.181 millimeters. The largest ball in our set was the number 14, measuring in at 57.230 millimeters. And our smallest ball was the number 4 ball at 57.150 millimeters. This gives us a size variance across our set of 0.14%, which is an outstanding result. And taking a look at our variance rankings for size, this puts the tournament TVs in joint third place alongside Aramith's Crown set. And again, just losing out to the tournament blacks by a minuscule margin. So when it comes to size, the quality control of Aramith really shines again when it comes to the tournament TVs, scoring them top marks, 5 stars out of 5 for size. And so with our technical tests now complete, we need to move on to the slightly more fun side of things, throw these on the table and start playing with them. And here at Average Joe's Pool, we always ensure that we give every product we review a minimum of 5 hours on the table to ensure that we get a good feel for the product and we're able to give it a fair review. So now it's time to run some racks. What do you say? Let's play. So when it comes to performance, well, as you may well expect, when it comes to a set of balls that's been designed by the world's leading manufacturer of phenolic resin balls, and they've produced a set that's specifically for use in tournaments, the performance of these is absolutely flawless. These balls perform exactly as you hope that they would. They definitely have a very solid feel to the balls and they roll absolutely perfectly. These are definitely a wonderful set to play with. The numbers are nice and clear and the colours are super vibrant. And another factor that I found was the red spotted cue ball that we have in this set is excellent at not retaining chalk. And as standard, we use master chalk whenever we're testing our products here, and the chalk retention for the cue ball was excellent. And that can't be said for some of the cue balls that are found in Aramith's cheaper ball sets. Now that can be a huge positive when it comes to playing with a set of balls, because of course the less chalk retention you have on your cue ball, then the less likely you are to suffer from cling, also known as kick or skid.
Oh, he's got another kick. Can you believe that kick? That was the worst of the lot.
It's worth remembering that Aramith do produce several different sets of pool balls to fit different people's budgets. And what we have here, this is the top end and also the most expensive tournament series. When it comes to performance on the cheaper Aramith sets, they also tend to play brilliantly. And so the difference between the cheaper sets and the top end sets from a performance perspective is actually relatively small. And you can definitely have a great game of pool with all of Aramith's ball sets. But it has to be said that the Super Aramith Pro resin, as is used in this tournament set, for some reason has that little slight edge over the other resins that are used in the cheaper Aramith sets. Like I said, the difference between those resins is relatively small, but if you want the best of the best, this is it. And when it comes to our reviews, we always try and be as impartial as possible. We always try and find faults when they are there. But when it comes to the Aramith tournaments, there's simply nothing not to like. These are definitely an amazing set to play with and are top of the line, which is exactly why these are used in professional tournaments all across the world. So let's go ahead and score the Aramith tournaments for performance. So when it comes down to sheer performance, there's a reason why Aramith's tournament series are used by professional players in tournaments across the world. They're virtually perfect. This really is as good as pool balls get, and so scores the tournament TVs a very worthy 5 stars out of 5 for performance. So when it comes to the Aramith tournaments, from that very moment that you take that shrink wrap off that box and you take that lid off, you get that first glance, there is no doubt that what you're looking at is a top-end, high-quality product. You'll immediately notice just how glossy the finish is on this set of balls. They absolutely sparkle. And you'll also immediately notice the vibrancy of the colours that we have in these sets. All of the colours that we have here really do pop, including the darker colours. And as you look through the balls, you'll also see that the white that we have on the poles of the balls and also on our cue ball is all exactly spot on. As a matching set, all of the white across this set is all perfect. And talking about being perfectly matched, when we did our size and weight tests earlier, we found that we have a set here that is absolutely spot on as a matched set. And that's no doubt testament to the quality control that they must have at the Aramith factory. The tolerances between the balls that we have in this set are so small so that we have a variance across our set that is absolutely minimal. So what we end up with is a near perfectly matched set, which of course is exactly what you need for balls that are going to be used by top level professional players in televised matches. We can't have missize or misweighted balls. Everything needs to be perfect. That's exactly what we see here. And another factor that I liked on the tournament set is the fact that we do have a very large and also very clear and easy to read number. It's also nice to see the clarity that we have around those numbers as well. What you sometimes tend to get when it comes to phenolic resin is you'll sometimes get a little bit of a bleed around the outside of the numbers. But what we are seeing here on the tournament set, that bleed is very minimal, which keeps the numbers nice and clear and super easy to see from a distance. And I've been using this set for about 2 weeks now, and there is no visible signs of wear to any of these balls whatsoever. So these are definitely designed to last. And so when it comes to the tournament ball sets by Aramith, you're definitely buying into a product that's been precisely calibrated to meet the requirements of professional players. So when it comes to quality, if you want the very best of the best when it comes to the leading manufacturer for phenolic resin balls, then you need look no further. When it comes to producing top quality pool balls, Aramith certainly know what they're doing. From your very first glance, you'll have no doubt in your mind that you're looking at a world-class product. The tournament sets exist to offer players the highest level of quality, and this is precisely what they deliver, scoring them full marks, 5 stars out of 5 for flawless quality.
A spacesuit and you're inside someplace, maybe just your brain in a little jar or something like that.
So when it comes to value for money, what exactly are we getting when it comes to Aramith's tournament sets? So we have to remember that these are not cheap pool balls. They start at $424 current pricing, going up to the Aramith Tournament Blacks $485. So we're definitely well outside of the realm of pocket money. These could be considered a serious investment. But if you are serious about your pool, is this a worthwhile investment? Well, first of all, we do have to remember that these are a top-of-the-line professional standard product. And these have been designed to be used by professional players in televised tournaments. So what you're getting here has been designed by Aramith to be the best of the best. But we do have to remember that these are designed for true professional use. And when it comes to professional pool players, $400 is not going to buy you very much if you were looking at something, for example, such as a pool cue. When it comes to pool cues, yes, of course, you can buy a very decent pool cue for between $400 and $500, the same price as these, but I can guarantee you there's not going to be many professional players playing at the top level that are going to be playing with $400 to $500 cues, but they will be playing with $400 to $500 balls. So from that perspective, being able to get a true professional level product at that price seems relatively reasonable when you compare it to other types of pool equipment. Additionally, you could make the comparison with pool table cloths. If you're looking at things like Simonis cloths, you're not a million miles away from this with regards to price. However, the balls that we have here should last you considerably longer than a single cloth would. So again, from that perspective, these don't look to be terrible value when you're looking at the highest end products. Now, another consideration, of course, would be Aramith's cheaper ball sets, because they do several sets that are cheaper than this, designed to fit different people's budgets. And when it comes to a performance perspective, the difference between a ball set that would maybe cost half the price of these from Aramith and these is going to be relatively small. But the fact remains that there is a difference. If you want that pinnacle, if you want the absolute best of the best, yes, the cheaper sets can get very close to the performance that you have on these, but it's not quite as good. There's something about these that just puts them into that next category. And the final thing to consider is these are a long-term investment. Yes, if you were buying these to only use them for 1 or 2 years, then that is a lot of money. However, Aramith say in a residential setting, these could last potentially up to 40 years. And when you break down the price over that number of years, then it's actually quite a low cost per year. And we should also remember that these have the vitrification layer, which some of Aramith's cheaper ball sets don't have. And additionally, these have the Aramith technology as well, which is specifically designed for longevity. So these really do have all the bells and whistles, and that's why these are the top of the line set. When it comes to value, there's no denying that these aren't cheap for pool balls, but to be able to play with a class-leading product that all of the professionals use for around $470 is a big plus. And additionally, you're getting the exclusive Aramith technology, and you're investing in something that should last for decades. So if you want the best of the best, this is where the buck stops, earning the tournament TVs a well-deserved 4 stars out of 5 for value. And so finally, we need to award Aramith's tournament TVs with their official Average Joe's rating. And to do this, we simply take the scores from across our 5 test categories, and then we calculate the average. And the tournament TVs come storming across the finish line at full sprint with an Average Joe's rating of 4.8 stars, earning them our coveted Average Joe's Sizzler Award, which is reserved for the very best products scoring 4 stars or more. So a virtually perfect score for a virtually perfect ball set. Yes, they are on the costlier side when it comes to pool balls, but they are more than worth the extra investment. So with our review now complete, there is only one question remaining. Should you buy the Aramith tournament balls? Well, the simple answer to that question is definitely a yes. If you want a product that is used by all the top professional players in the world, then this is them. Now, if budget is a major consideration for you, it's definitely worth remembering that Aramith do produce several cheaper pool ball sets as well. And as I mentioned before, the performance that you'll get from those is also excellent and not all that far behind what we have here with the tournaments. But the tournaments really are the pinnacle of the Aramith range, and there's something that sets these aside from those cheaper sets. It's just that little slight edge. These are close to perfection. But if you are able to stretch your budget a little bit, it's definitely worth considering the tournaments. With the tournament set, there's nothing to upgrade to, so you're not going to regret your purchase. Maybe if you buy a cheaper set now, you'll always wish I pushed that little bit extra and bought the top end set. And whilst you're almost certainly going to be replacing your pool tablecloth several times in the next 30 to 40 years, and you may even upgrade your table as well, you'll still be using the same set of tournament balls. And if you are interested in buying a set of the Aramith tournaments, please do remember we will be adding those Amazon links into the video description for both the standard, TV, black and the value packs. So if this video has been helpful for you or you like what we do here at Average Joe's Pool, please be sure to help support us in return and please click on our Amazon links. So thank you for joining us here at Average Joe's Pool. Before you leave, can you be sure to, at the very least, hit that like button for us. It really does help us out. And once you've got your finger on the trigger, why not also hit that subscribe button and also switch on notifications so you can find out about all of our upcoming videos. So thank you once again for joining us, and until next time, stay golden, pony boy.
All right. Hey, Chuck, what do you like, getting a haircut? No, I just like wearing sheets.